So the tables have turned. Let's welcome in now Driena Sixto. She's a spokesperson for Turning Point Action. Driena, it is interesting to watch Letitia James. It's like she rehearsed for that video, so dramatic there. It was also interesting to see the reaction from so many Democrats talking about how they are going to, specifically Hakeem Jeffries says that when they come back into power, they're going to do the exact same thing they're now accusing the Trump administration of doing, and that's weaponizing the Justice Department.
And we saw it with, President Trump, how they just declared lawfare. They just went on a full-out witch hunt on him, his supporters, on a lot of people that were there on January 6th. What I find just so insulting when I see this kind of stuff, when they get caught red-handed, is that they turn it into this spectacle and they bring God into it. Like, lady, you know what you did wrong. Everybody knows what you did wrong. And to then say, I'm completely free of any charge, this and that, bringing God into it, it's a really second level of audacity.
Yes.
And I'm glad that it's being put on full display for everybody to see. I think what's happening here, no, we're not persecuting anybody. We are just applying the law equally to everybody, which I'm sure the left and Democrats have not been used to, since that has been the case for so long. And so I hope that she's just one of the people that first learned her lesson, and this will disincentivize this kind of behavior in the near future. And hopefully Democrats learn that when we are in power, no, we're not going to go after you and target you unnecessarily. But yes, we are going to apply the law as we're supposed to. And there she is. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, Lindsay Halligan, who is the DOJ attorney who's also prosecuting James Comey, will be prosecuting this case. And again, we have to remind everyone what we heard from Letitia James when she was running for office and while she was in office after President Trump left the White House, talking about no one is above the law. Let's listen to this.
Running for Attorney General because I will never be afraid to challenge this illegitimate president when our fundamental rights are at stake.
Oh, we're going to definitely sue him. We're going to be a real pain in the He's going to know my name personally.
Donald Trump may have authored the art of the deal, but he perfected the art of the steal.
And I'm not afraid of Donald Trump. You can come after me, but no enemy, nothing formed against me will perish. I'm not afraid of no president. Donald Trump, we're ready for you. We're coming for you.
I only wonder how much time she spends in front of the mirror.
Yes, rehearsing
these lines.
Absolutely. And it's funny, she's like, no enemy, against me shall prosper. Lady, you are your own worst enemy by doing the things that you've done. Just follow the law like everybody else. This wouldn't be a problem. And not just that, the fact that she ran on persecuting the president, calling him an illegitimate president.
Yeah.
Right? That's Kim Jong-un, an illegitimate president, Maduro, an illegitimate president. But he definitely won 2016 fair and square. I have my personal opinions about 2020, as we all do. And he just absolutely crushed it in this last election, winning the popular vote as well as the Electoral College. So it's crazy for her to use those words. And what's sad is that a lot of the Democrat base will see this and say, yeah, she's a person in power, she's an elected official, she's calling the president illegitimate. Maybe there's some value to those statements. And so she's perpetuating, again, fake news just for that. And I've been parroting this left and right, just for calling somebody an illegitimate president on TV, knowing dang well that is not the case. I'm sorry, you should face repercussions for that too. Sue her for defamation as well. Maybe that's how they're going to start learning their lessons and watch their tongue a little bit more.
We remember how brash she was about securing that judgment against President Trump, which was completely off base. The judgment has since been overturned.
Yep.
President Trump doesn't have to pay that money. She posted about that as well. She's going to regret some of the words that she used. Also, we started the hour with the peace deal and what's going on over there in Israel and Gaza right now. Here's a live shot for you. There's been a lot of talk that President Trump should have gotten the Nobel Peace Prize, which was awarded this morning to the leader of the opposition movement in Venezuela. President Obama, like a lot of people, posted a very lengthy statement on X yesterday talking about this deal, but he neglected to mention anything about President Trump. Stephen Chung, White House Communications Director, responded with, say his name. It's just like it is impossible for Barack Obama to give any credit to Donald Trump for anything. And this is also, I think, ironic considering what Barack Obama did to Donald Trump when he was coming into office for his first term, spying on him.
No, I mean, I think that Democrats think good things happen like children think presents arrive on Christmas. Like Santa must be the one bringing it, right?
Yeah.
For them, they just do not give credit to where credit is due and who is actually responsible for quite literally peace in the Middle East, something that we've heard of. I mean, since I was in middle school, it's something that was talked about, joked about, like, oh, we want peace in the Middle East. Well, he did it. He finally accomplished it. And to not give him any credit for that, not mention his name, is a level of pettiness that I guess we've come to expect from the Democrat side. I expected it, but I'm glad, again, that they show their true colors.
Yeah.
The fact that they can't even celebrate a win, not just for the president, but for us, the American people that have been wanting for so long for this to happen, because from both sides of the aisle, nobody wants more deaths in the Middle East. From both sides of the aisle, nobody wants more money of our taxpayer money going over there to be a part of this conflict, right? So this is a win for America, and they still don't have the humility to reach across the aisle and say, just give a nice word, something. But hey, that's the Democrats for you.
I imagine Barack Obama's quite proud of himself because he won a Nobel Peace Prize for doing
before he went into office.
Before he was even president. I mean, this guy has time to put out these carefully curated lists of everything he's reading, everything he's listening to, but yet he can't mention President Trump's name. So there's that. All right, we got more to come with Driena Sixto. We're going to talk about the shutdown in just a little bit and how Democrats say completely the opposite of what's actually going on. Very, very bold of them as well. So more on that. Also, looks like we're going to be in this government shutdown at least until next Tuesday. Are you feeling it? Are you? Not a lot of people seem to be. Senators are leaving town after a seventh failed vote last night. National correspondent Alana Austin joins us live from Capitol Hill with the latest on that. Hey, Alana.
Hey, John, good afternoon. Well, this is quite the predicament because Senate Democrats say they are only going to vote to reopen the federal government when they see some type of a deal, something concrete on Affordable Care Act, COVID-era subsidies. But conservatives, including House Majority Leader Steve Scalise, say that is a red line in the sand. When Uncle Sam is always going to pay the bills, the insurance industry has an inherent incentive to keep skyrocketing the costs.
I actually am wondering, should there be more hearings with these insurance industry leaders? Because this is hurting a lot of people. This is a bipartisan issue that people say the costs are outrageous. And as you said, there could be that incentive from the Affordable Care Act for the premiums to go up every single year.
Yeah, we have a lot of those kind of hearings, legislation, other things teed up to do. Obviously, right now the focus is getting the government back up and open first. I worry about the families who are not going to even get a paycheck, and that is real.
Now, I asked a similar question just minutes ago to Hakeem Jeffries, the House Democratic Minority Leader, and he is really pinning all of the blame on the situation on the GOP.
Can you talk to us about the insurance companies? Are any of them responsible for the situation we're in right now? Is there a bipartisan interest to have more oversight of those insurance and healthcare company executives?
It's a bipartisan interest, I hope, in extending the Affordable Care Act tax credits, in addressing the massive Medicaid cuts that Republicans have inflicted on the American people. And I hope that there's bipartisan interest in trying to reopen the hospitals, the nursing homes, and the community-based health centers that are closing because of Republicans and their failed policies this year.
Well, hundreds of thousands of federal workers, civilian employees today are seeing a partial paycheck be missed. And then next week, we anticipate troops are going to start going without pay. That'll be the first paycheck that they miss because the shutdown is still going on. But Chuck Schumer, the Senate minority leader, says every day is getting better for him and the Democratic Party. House Speaker Mike Johnson this morning says he's appalled by those remarks.
Chuck Schumer said himself, with every day of the shutdown gets better for us. And what does that look like? We're talking about 2 million civilian workers, 1.3 million active duty service members, everybody being hurt because of it. Chuck is what they're doing right now. I've been asked many times in interviews over the last couple of days, you seem angry. You don't get angry a lot. I don't, but this is beyond the pale. What Chuck Schumer's doing right now it's sickening. It's sickening to hear him say it's better for him and his party when it's so terrible for real Americans.
Well, the House remains out of session as Speaker Mike Johnson says they already did their job, voting to keep the government funded through November 21st. Now many senators, they are heading off for greener pastures, quite literally. Several Senate Democrats are heading down to Kiowa Island in South Carolina at a luxury golf resort for fundraising. Numerous Senate Democrats, they're following suit, but they're heading out west, nestled into wine country of Napa Valley. Again, there's no sign, John, of this shutdown ending anytime soon. In fact, Arizona Democratic Senator Ruben Gallego is predicting this goes until November 1st. Back to you.
Yeah, he's probably girding for another one of those confrontations that he had with Mike Johnson. Ruben Gallego seems to be enjoying this. Alana Austin, thank you so much. Good to see you. Let's welcome back Driena Sixto for a deeper conversation on this. I mean, Driena, do you think most Americans are actually impacted by this government shutdown? Do you think they're missing the fact? I mean, we've seen some flight delays, right? I know this is hard on government workers, especially those in the military. They might have to go without a paycheck. Yeah. But for the average American out there, it seems a little different this time.
Yes. Obviously, if you are missing a paycheck, you are probably pulling your hairs right now, especially with the fact that most Americans do live paycheck to paycheck. And the last time this happened, a lot of these people that were affected were skipping the mortgage payments, were skipping the car payments, even if they have to deal with a late fee later on, because that's just the reality of their financial situation. Obviously, Chuck Schumer thinks that it's better and better for him. I think the day-to-day American, first of all, doesn't really understand what a shutdown is and who it affects. I've been kind of explaining it to a lot of people these last few days. It sounds like from a lot of what you hear on TV that you're going to open the door outside and planes are just going to be like crashing and it's going to be a dystopia, like, oh, it's shut down, like, and that's obviously not the case. For the most part, a lot of people are on a daily basis have seen no change. And so maybe that's why the Democrats aren't feeling as much pressure as they should be for holding this country hostage and for really negatively affecting the lives of the people that are government workers. I think some people I've seen on social media say, I love this government shutdown. There's less traffic on the road. And, so it's definitely differently experienced. But as a whole, the fact that this is all happening because the Democrats' allegiance is to illegal immigrants, non-citizens, and they are trying to secure taxpayer-funded health care for them is appalling. And that is the message that we are trying to drive home to those that are watching, that are voters, that are taxpayers. They are destroying the lives of so many people because what I think the reason for it is they might think that down the line in the future they may re-grab power and whoever is left in this country that wasn't sent back and wasn't deported, they might just do a full-on legalization. Right? And then that
definitely calls for that.
And that definitely would benefit them.
Democrats also keep warning us about our health insurance premiums going up. They don't realize, though, that reminds many Americans that our health insurance premiums have been going up ever since Obamacare became law. And Chuck Schumer, in fact, he thinks that the shutdown is actually good for Democrats. He bragged about how every day, quote unquote, gets better for us being Democrats. He said this in multiple interviews. Here he is speaking on the Senate floor.
Each day, our case to fix health care and end the shutdown gets better and better, stronger and stronger, because families are opening their letters, showing how high their premiums will climb if Republicans get their way. They're seeing why this fight matters.
Yeah, it's ironic. A lot of the reasons, well, the biggest reason why our health premiums keep going up is because they've allowed, during the previous administration, an invasion of foreign nationals that have put a huge tax on our healthcare system. Because as it stands, if you have an emergency, you go to a hospital, they have to treat you. They have to treat you, whether you're legal, illegal, you can pay, you can't pay. And then who is the actual cost transferred over to then?
Yeah.
Right? The legal tax-paying citizen. So a lot of the reasons why our health premiums are going up, it's because of them. So to say
the Democrats like to say that's illegal, it can't happen, they can't use Medicaid money for illegals, but you just gave a specific example where that does happen. And we see, of course, this money is very fungible. State funds pay for legal residents, and then they use the additional Medicaid funds to pay for illegals. And it's not like people, all these illegals going to the hospital are walking in life or death situations. People will show up to the emergency room with a common cold and get treated. And that's one of the examples you're talking about. All right, two more topics I want to get to real quick before we run out of time. There's a new poll out that talks about Gen Z women and how liberal they are. According to a group called the 19th Polling, 26% of Gen Z women approve of the job President Trump is doing. That's just 26%. That compared to 47% of Gen Z men. So you see the racial disparity there. Also, 76% of Gen Z women want abortion to be legal. 39% of Gen Z women are Democrats versus 22% of men. Bottom line here is that Gen Z women are the most liberal group in America. What is driving this?
I think, again, women are driven a lot more. This is just a biological thing, right? Don't come at me, feminists. We are driven a little bit more by emotions. So it's easy. These liars on TV, Chuck Schumer right now, could easily fool women that are listening in, and they're like, oh my God, the poor babies, we must save the babies, we must give health care to everybody. And so it's much easier to bring them to the left side because all they talk about is compassion and love and free this, free that, because they care. So I think that's definitely, the primary reason. Being young, dumb, uninformed, and hormonal is a reality. Thankfully, when they get older, what we see happen when these women become mothers and you now have responsibilities, then that's one of our closest voting blocks for Republicans, right? So it'll take a few years. Hopefully, between now and then, they don't sterilize themselves and chop off body parts like the left wants them to do, right, during those puberty years. I think that this is why it's so important for groups like Turning Point USA to be in those liberal bubbles where these girls are to at least try to give them a different perspective at their high schools, at their campuses, to listen to differing opinions. Now also, as we know, with Erica Kirk leading the organization, they have a female voice to listen to. There's also a lot of female influencers that they have on staff.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about Charlie Kirk and Turning Point. We had another massive event last night in South Dakota. There's the tour continued to sell out even though Charlie Kirk is not there. But we also have people who just continue to slander Charlie Kirk's name. Trevor Noah, the Daily Show host, he said he found it funny that Charlie Kirk was murdered while he was defending the Second Amendment. Watch this.
I wasn't going to say anything about, but don't say anything about Charlie. I wasn't going to say anything about Charlie Kirk, but don't. There's nothing funny about it. Oh, now you tested me. I mean, there's nothing funny about it? You can't say there's nothing funny about it. No, there's nothing fun. No, don't say that, because as a comedian, I'll be like, I'm sure there's something funny about it. The guy was shot while defending guns. Do you understand how? I'm not even writing that as a joke.
Yeah, and he's not that clever either. We heard this from Democrats the day that it happened and the day after that it happened. I mean, that the reason,
like the whole whatever you want to call it, there's nothing funny about Charlie Kirk getting assassinated. No, there is nothing funny about anyone getting assassinated.
Yeah, there really isn't. And what's scary is the fact that in their brain they think that standing up for our God-given Second Amendment rights, our right to protect ourselves, obviously on the day-to-day, but our right to protect ourselves from a tyrannical government that might keep us from having our God-given rights, that is a reason somebody should be killed. they genuinely believe that.
And I think what you said is so important,
yeah.
and it's the key distinction that conservatives who understand the Constitution make from Democrats and liberals who don't. It's not our right to guns that we're talking about.
Exactly.
It's our right to defend ourselves from a tyrannical government,
Correct.
which you, as a child of immigrants from Cuba, understand. A lot of people who have come to this country seeking freedom understand that. But the liberals, I mean, Trevor Noah's from South Africa, I believe. It's amazing that he doesn't understand that, what's happened in his country and the way that country's going. All right, so the other big question we got to ask about the Turning Point USA Super Bowl halftime show. It's happening. Jack Posobiec mentioned, maybe Creed is going to perform. What can you tell us, though? What do we know so far about the Turning Point halftime show?
So what we know so far, it is the All-American halftime show, right? That's the official title for it. And the other thing we should know is that Turning Point hosts the largest conservative conference every single year. And it is a literal show. It is a production. We do have the best media team. They've held concerts before at these conservative conferences. We have the best events team in the world, Lauren Tonsich, who I have to shout her out. She's incredible. Yeah, she is truly the best in the game when it comes to this. So if our team is producing this show, it's going to be the best in history. And you could take that to the bank.
We will take it to the bank. And shout out to whoever normalized the pyrotechnics at political conferences.
Yes.
That's a nice touch that you guys have brought to the game. Driena, always great to have you with us in the studio.
Absolutely.
Thank you for driving up from Miami as well. We'll see you soon. All right, more to come here. We're going to talk about Abigail Spamberger.